I want to, at this point, announce to all of you that I will be a candidate for Congress in the 1st Congressional District. I'm running for Congress because, like many of you, I have some grave concerns about where our country is headed. People are hurting. Jobs are still being lost. People are still wondering where their next paycheck is going to come from. People are losing their homes. People are losing their life savings. I know people are hurting. I know people are losing hope. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to say that the answer for job creation, the answer for improving our economy, the answer for improving our schools and education is simply not more government spending. Unchecked government spending in the long term poses a great threat to job creation in our economy. Let me give you a little historical perspective, if I might. 22 years ago, I worked for Congressman Skeen, as was introduced by Denise. My last year in Congress in 1987, I was a senior aide on the House Appropriations Committee. Eyebrows were raised back then. The federal government had just passed its first $1 trillion budget, 22 short years ago. Fast forward 22 years to this very day, a budget of $3.5 trillion was just passed. We now have an overall national debt of $11.2 trillion and growing. Somewhere in this country, a baby is being born as we speak. That young child is coming into this world with at least a $35,000 payment due and owable to the Internal Revenue Service and to this federal government. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that is wrong. Our current projected budget deficit will be close to $2 trillion in this fiscal year. Imagine a deficit of $2 trillion, twice the amount of federal outlays in the budget that we had just 22 years ago. We need to get this spending under control. I'm here to say today that I'm also running because I do believe in limited government. I do believe in fewer taxes, and I do believe in more freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, Washington's heading in the opposite direction. I have a friend of mine in the audience, and we've been working in the community together. Jose Armas, if I might like to introduce you. Jose and I have worked on some community activities together. And we as Republicans, while we need to be fiscally responsible and fiscally conservative, I'm here to say that as your next congressman, I also want to be empathetic. People are hurting. And we need to find out new, innovative, and provocative ways to redirect spending so that we truly do make a difference in people's lives. And that's what I'm going to try to focus on, and I'm going to be talking about those solutions as the campaign moves forward. Let me conclude my comments this morning by offering you a glimpse of who I am. Denise so graciously told you about my resume and background and experience, but let me tell you who I am. My grandparents, who I'm very, very proud of, raised their kids without one dime of federal assistance. And they're no longer here with me, and I get a little emotional about it. But what made it different was that they believed in themselves, they taught their kids hard work, and they never relied on others to make a difference. JD's age, when I was JD's age, I'll always remember, was starting off a summer. My dad's a blue-collar guy. I am not a country club Republican, ladies and gentlemen. My dad got laid off from a blue-collar job. He came in, I'll always remember, announced that he'd been laid off, asked to look at our new vehicle. He'd emptied out pretty much his life savings, bought a 53 GMC pickup truck, flatbed, I'll never forget. And like most kids JD's age, I was looking to a summer of fun and frolic. Well, my dad announced to me that we were going to go out and work that summer. We were going to make ends meet. Things were going to be okay. And we were knocking on doors, looking for yards that weren't so kept up, asking for work. And there I was, raking leaves alongside my dad. We made it. He got rehired. At the time, I thought that was the worst summer of my life. But looking back fondly on that summer, it was the best summer of my life because I learned some very valuable life lessons. That's who I am. My parents couldn't be with me here today. In 2 days, they are making preparations for their 50th anniversary. They still live in Las Cruces. I'm proud to call them my mom and dad. And I'm proud of what they taught me. Let me conclude this by saying this. This campaign will be long and hard as we launch the journey. I know that there's going to be some things said about me personally. It'll be a rough campaign. But I take great comfort in 3 things as it carries me through. Number 1, my faith, my belief in the ideas and the things that I stand for and the values that I'm going to be running on. And most importantly, all of you, my friends, my family, people like Robert Aragon who've shown such courage to stand with me today. That's what's going to sustain me through this campaign, and we will succeed. I want to be your next congressman, not because I want to be a congressman, but because I want to fight for all of you. I'm one of you, as Robert said. So let's go out and let's win an election. I need your help. Thank you very much.